Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of VLF1. It's weird coming back every week. I'm not used to it, but here we go. My name's Credden. You've heard me a few times casting before, but I've got Pyro with me. He's normally in McLaren. He's now on the casting desk. How's it going?
Hello. Doing good.
Yeah,
That's Monaco.
yeah. Just to confirm what we've just heard you talk about in the drivers' call. I think you said you'd be racing, but you just don't like Monaco at all. Is that it?
Yes.
I like
Every
that.
year I skip Monaco. After the first 3 times or 3 seasons, I say, where I tried Monaco and I have 100% DNF rate on every single Monaco race, I was like, oh, that's not my track. I hate this track. I tried it 3 times. Not gonna do it again.
Yeah, can't imagine. It's a very difficult track. It's probably the most difficult on the calendar. I don't know too much about the new tracks that we're going to be doing this season. The Saudi Arabia, the Portimao, the Imola ones, but yeah, it'll be difficult to beat Monaco. It's got some very tight corners. It's very easy to crash into a lot of the walls. There's turns like that chicane which get very difficult. And Couchy is already shouting you out in chat, Sandro. Any messages for him tonight?
Hey, Couchy! Oh my god, it's been a while since I talked to Couchy. How's it going, my man?
Oi.
Probably grown up already.
Yeah.
Back then, when he was a small, innocent child, Couchy. Or he was never innocent, but you know.
Yeah, we just had a bonfire night in the UK on the 5th of November, so I think Couchy might now be legally able to buy fireworks. He might be that old. He's he says he's 19.
Oh, nice. Wait, I actually remember when he said he was still 60. Is it already 3 years since I know you guys?
It is
Could it
crazy.
be?
Like, I normally try
What the
and measure
fuck?
time by VLF1 seasons. We've had 5, but we sort of run 2 a year, and then we had a break. So yeah, it is.
Oh my god. It's crazy.
It absolutely is. I think I knew you from, like, League beforehand anyway, from, like, Dark Copy and when you were, like, Little Dragonfire in VL.
Oh yeah,
So
true.
I think the earliest VL League season was like 2017, maybe early 2018. So soon that will be 5 years ago. That's absolutely crazy.
And actually, I was even in VL before it was to be decided, the team in VL, where with Wilder as the team owner or something. Oh my god. It's that ages ago.
And yeah, since then you've had your own history in VLF1. You've probably the best team I think you I remembered you on was when you were with Law in that Toro Rosso team. But
Good old
you've had a
days.
lot of different teams. You've then had McLaren time. You've been with Carlos and Tezzy.
Yes. Good old times. Oh yeah, Tezzy. Oh.
Yeah, he's not here today, but it's worth pointing out while we're talking about people on the grid, we've got a few new faces. So for those of you who watch VLF1 at least semi-regularly, you might not have seen drivers like Ronaldinho, who is in the Aston Martin alongside Sonny. We've also got Runas. He's a Norwegian guy, and he's racing as the only driver for McLaren today. The last new driver we've got is from the BBU League. He's called Tarachi. He's apparently very good, and he's a hot prospect. He's racing in the Williams team alongside Crispy today.
What? Runas and Ronaldinho are not from BBU, right?
I don't think so. I've heard that Ronaldinho is one of Glenn's friends, and he's from the UK. He says he could use either the Scottish or the British flag. I don't think anyone's ever said that before. But yeah, he's from Scotland. So yeah, maybe Glenn's brought him along as a bit of fun. But not put him into Ferrari, which is crazy. Because they do have one open space there.
Oh, do they? Interesting. No, wait. How I saw it in the team captions chat, I don't know. I still don't get the new system, but apparently Glenn lost the vote or the dice roll or something like that, and that's why the substitute, in this case probably Ronaldinho, didn't go to Ferrari seat. I don't know if Glenn had a decision on that, but yeah, I still don't get the new system.
I don't either, but that's great to imagine. Just the captain seeing all the new people and playing like rock paper scissors or like flipping a coin on people. Oh, okay, right. Gaben's already come in with a really fast time. We just had a free practice session, and the fastest driver in there was Tarachi. He was on the soft tyres, and he got a 110.9, which beat even people like Charmander, who are very, very fast. Gaben has just come in with
Okay.
his first timed lap and smashed that out of the water with 1:10.7. So it's yeah, that's very quick.
I guess Gabe wasn't in free practice then, I assume, right?
He wasn't in the free practice, but he was in a Ferrari call. So I don't know if Gabe
Oh,
and Glenn
okay.
Maka were doing things separately. Maka also getting in towards the top of the board, 1:11.0.
Oh, now it's getting spicy. I mean, in Monaco, good position in qualifying means everything, because it's hard to overtake. So we will see where everyone will start on.
Okay, we've just had an interesting bug, so my F1 client's just closed. We love to see it.
Oh,
We'll take you to the studio and we'll get you set up as soon as possible. It seems streaming plus watching myself on Twitch plus actually getting the OBS in the background was too much. Apologies, viewers. This is kind of embarrassing.
this is Codemasters 2021 game.
Yeah, I don't know how much is Codemasters or how much is me, but we'll get you back into the game as soon as possible. Luckily, as a spectator, you don't have to worry about the problems of getting back into the game, like trying to make sure you get back into your own seat, etc. Luckily, because it's set to friends only, it can be joined back on.
And I can keep you guys updated. Nothing really interesting happening right now.
Monaco for you.
Yeah. But we see Ronaldinho putting out the mediums. Not sure what his deal is with that. He's the only one on mediums right now.
Oh, Bongular in chat coming in hot. He says Miffy is racing. Pog. Yeah, he's there. He's alongside Law in the AlphaTauri seat. Hopefully we can get you back in. So we're just loading through into Monaco now. Apologies for the brief interruption, guys.
So because we are only, or because there are 16 drivers, that means one unlucky driver is missing out on Q2. Who will it be?
Yeah,
We will find out.
this is the part of the qualifying session where you look towards the bottom of the grid and see what happens. Gaben with times like that is super safe. No, it's not the case that all of the field is going to be his time. We start to look at the lower tier drivers or the drivers that don't get a time. By the way, Pyro, when I've rejoined the session, my timer is reset to the full 18 minutes. So
okay.
I think you'll have to be our clock on screen.
Yeah, it's fine. It's currently 11 minutes, so you're 6 minutes behind.
Okay, so yeah, we've got 6 minutes less than on screen. So guys, keep that into account when you're watching.
And while you were mentioning I think the first 5 are pretty safe. I don't know about something, but the first 4 probably won't go out because they will not want to risk to crash and then miss out on Q2 and 3.
Yeah.
I assume. Well, I say that Crispy's on another lap. Never mind.
Yeah, with it being Monaco as well, you want to get your practice in, but with Monaco more than a lot of circuits, you don't want to risk injuring your wing, taking your chassis out. It's very easy to do, even if you're going well, because the racing line is just so close to the walls on so many of these corners.
Let's see what Travis is doing. He's on a fast lap now. Travis, the always consistent fast driver.
Yeah, he's doing really well. He's leading the Drivers' Championship at the moment. Between Travis and Charmander Nerd, they are leading the Constructors' Championship. So there's just a lot of pressure on Red Bull, but they can handle it. They're very good. They're very consistent, as you say, Copy. And yeah, he's on his fast lap right now.
Is there actually a track Travis doesn't like as much, or where he doesn't excel? I've been thinking, every track almost he's always up there, in the top 3, if not even first.
Yeah, he's got super consistency, and I think he just has a love for the game and for motor racing in general. He's into his engineering in real life, and whenever the new tracks were released, Imola, Portimao, Saudi Arabia's Jeddah circuit, you could see him posting already in VL. He was trying to find out lots about the corners, about the circuits, about what traction you could take, about where there were gravel traps, the differences between the in-game circuits and their real-life counterparts. Because he's got so much enthusiasm for the game and the setups and the racing and everything around it, he's just naturally going to put more time into it, and that breeds its own success.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's crazy. He's a man of dedication. Bongala says there's no overtaking in Monaco, right? Cause is terrible for overtaking. Well, yes. I mean, overtaking is possible, but yeah, most of it is qualifying what position you get there, and then from there on up, you have to see what you can get. I mean, you can still overtake in Monaco. That's not it, but you really need a lot of more pace than the car in front of you. If you're just minimal faster, I think it's gonna be hard for someone to overtake.
Yeah, well said. It's because the track is so narrow and you can't really risk too much from the racing line. It's so difficult to get that overtake off. You have to have the tyre advantage, or you have to hope your opponent makes a mistake. You really can't barge your way past unless the person in front of you makes a big mistake. So yeah, it's a track where most of the time the position in qualifying or the position after the final pit stop is going to be the final classification at the end of the race.
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, strategy also plays a huge factor.
Yeah, so I'm not too familiar with the strategies. Just to back up the point about Travis earlier, he normally sends me a detailed file on what strategies you can use. Most of the time on Monaco, I've seen people use the medium-hard one-stop for 50% races.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, if a safety car comes out, you might need to change the strategy, use softer tyres. But the reason people use the medium-hard tyres is because if you start on the mediums, end on the hard tyres, you have the longest possible final stint. So you can just get your nose in front and then hold everyone else up for the rest of the race.
Well, let's spice it up. You know it's Monaco, and you know there's gonna be an incident, and a 99% probability for safety car. What do you think? Will there anyone be going like, I can pull off a medium soft or medium soft soft because there's gonna be maybe another safety car?
You've got to be thinking about it, and especially these more experienced drivers in VL, your Somthers, your Charmanders. As we see Ronaldinho go by the wayside, let's get a quick on board with
no.
Blaze, who is coming around Sector 1. We see Ronaldinho, he's on the street leading up to Casino. In fact, I think it's just after Casino. My corner names need some work on Monaco. He's on the left-hand side of the track because it's very narrow, it's difficult to get past him. Blaze might actually have had some damage on his wing. Let's take a quick look at his car as it comes around towards the tunnel. Looks intact to me.
Yes. So that means Runas only has to put in a time, same with Tariachi, and then they're through because only one car was missing out in Q1.
Yeah, Runas actually has just had a bit of an incident in Sector 3.
Just finish it up, and then you're fine. Come on.
Yeah, avoid the pits. It's a horrible time. It's nowhere near any other time on the grid, but it gets you into Q2, so Runas is safe. Yeah, he really didn't... I think he messed up Raskas. I think that's the second last corner in Sector 3. And sent his car almost the wrong way on the track, but recovered and drove past the pit exit. I think he knew that because of the DNF, he didn't need to do that much.
Yeah, really, really unfortunate for Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
His time wasn't even that bad. Like a 1:12.4 put him in 11th. I don't know if there was more for him in there, but really unfortunate.
Yeah, he's got potential and he can bring it back in the race. He just needs to work out what caused that to happen. Maybe he gets some practice time while qualifying continues. And yeah, he's got another chance at least. Bongila asks in Twitch chat, there's only one person going out this Q1. Yeah, you've got it. And we now know that it's going to be Ronaldinho. And of course, anyone else who DNFs with a worse time. Yeah, I believe if you DNF in Q1 or Q2, you can't then continue in a later qualifying session. But if you DNF in Q3, the final qualifying session, your final time does stand and you can keep that classification. So yeah, Ronaldinho can take no further part. He's knocked out for Q2. And if nothing else changes and Tarachi gets a time, let's go quickly on board him. He's going to have to get around the track again.
Oh, he invalidated.
Yeah, Tarachi is going to have to set a time to make sure that he gets into Q2.
Also, just as a reminder, there's 4 minutes left in the session, not 10.
Yeah, well said, Copy. To confirm to everyone, we've got a bit of a spectator bug because I had to load back in. So yeah, 6 minutes extra has been put onto my clock. We've got 4 instead of 10 minutes remaining. So the way the timer works is when the clock hits 0, if you're on a flying lap, you can complete it. If you haven't started a flying lap, you can't then start one. So the trick is to get to the start of the flying lap before the clock hits 0.
Let's see. Tariachi is actually quite a fast drive, I think, from BBU. I can't really remember, but I think he's up there with Gaben and Travis in BBU at least. I don't know how he will perform in Monaco and today, but I have high expectations from him. Was it? Yeah.
Okay, another question from Bongula. He says, if Tarachi DNFs, do they both DNF? So if Tarachi DNFs now, or if he sets a slower time and then DNFs, both of them can't then compete in Q2 because in theory their cars are broken. But then they would be classified on the grid in whatever order they finished. There we go.
Whoa! Tariachi setting a statement. Holy fuck.
That's absolutely crazy.
7/10 faster than Gaben. Sorry.
No worries. I think we're both just astounded at how fast that was. And another thing, I love how that upsets the Red Bull project because both junior drivers have scored faster times than Trav and Charmander in the senior team. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, and holy fuck. No wait, is Tariachi Williams? Is that not Project Mercedes?
Sorry, Pyro, you're right, I'm wrong. They are Project Mercedes, not Alpha Tauri. Miffy and Laura Alpha Tauri. And that's me getting confused at the 5 teams which have blue colours.
Yeah. It's so...
So,
I mean...
yeah, we can laugh at Project Mercedes instead of Red Bull, where the junior drivers are better.
I mean, we don't know if the times are gonna stay like that. I hope not. I hope it's get a little bit more competitive. But, I mean, still, Tariachi is saying, alright guys, don't forget about me now. And that's crazy.
Yeah, there's don't forget about me and just absolutely blowing times into smithereens. Like, at this point, I'd be interested in going back into previous seasons and seeing what the best times there were. Like, Calm and Flyer are amongst the best drivers we've had in VL, just for raw pace. Charmander and Trav can certainly make themselves known when it comes to Monaco as well. I'm not sure if we've ever had anyone breaking 110. I think we might have seen a 109 in previous races. And yeah, I'd be interested to look afterwards just to see what the comparison would be.
I actually am curious as well. I'm gonna look up now. If I have that. But yeah, 109. That would be interesting. That would be more or way quicker than usual times on Monaco. We had that English sentence didn't make any sense. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We know what you meant. So as it stands, we're coming into the final minute of Q1. The clock says 7 minutes, but ignore it. It's a spectator bug. We've got about a minute left for people to set flying laps. Sonny's on his out lap, so I think he just wants to show some things down. In case we have a spectator bug at the end, I'm just going to quickly go through the tyre selection, show the classification on stream, and the only thing to do now is see what happens with Runas, because while he's slower than Ronaldinho in P15, Ronaldinho is DNF'd. So I believe that Runas would still be eliminated. I'm not 100%, so we'll see what happens in the game engine.
Oh, yeah, good point, actually.
Either way, our other 14 drivers are through, so everyone from Tarachi in P1 down to Law in P14 will be in Q2. Runas is on a final lap now. The clock has ticked over. It's invalidated, so he won't have a chance to improve his time.
Unfortunate.
We'll see if the game engine puts him through at the expense of the retired Ronaldinho, who's currently occupying P15 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, okay, we're only waiting now for him to enter the pits, and then we will see how much luck he has.
There we go. And the sound you're hearing in the background is me opening a nice can of whoop-ass for the Red Bull team. No, I'm just kidding, it's a drink, because this is going to be a good one.
Yes. Let's hope for a really interesting Monaco qualifying end race.
Yeah, with Monaco, you really expect it to be like really hot action from like lap 1. Let's quickly...
Oh, it actually put them both out.
It has, so Ronaldinho DNF'd and is out. Runas couldn't beat his time, so goes out as well. So I think that classed Ronaldinho as an advancing driver into Q2, but then ruled him out because of
But
his car.
but that's weird because Law also put in a 115.0 and he got through. That's very weird.
Yeah, I think it's because Law beat Runus. So Law would have been 15th, but then goes ahead of Ronaldinho, who DNF'd.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
But yeah, instead of 15 drivers, we'll be starting Q2 with 14 drivers. And quite simply, the top 10 times at the end of this session will go into Q3. There's then a bit of fun about the tyre strategy, but the main thing to worry about is getting your time into that top 10.
Yeah, speaking of tire strategy, we will see some drivers probably that know that know they can't contest on mediums, maybe put in the softs already on. Or if they're gonna try do a medium lap as well and see how much off there are. Or even if they can maybe go through with mediums.
Yeah, and that's the balance. So I try to explain this for our newer spectators every week. You can either qualify on the faster soft tyres, which don't last as long in the race, or the slower medium tyres, which last longer in the race. So the rule is, if you can qualify on the mediums, if you're fast enough, then it's worth doing. If you need to go onto softs to get into that top 10, it's probably worth doing that as well. So most drivers will start on the mediums, set a banking time, just a baseline time that they can improve on, see how the other drivers do, and then with about 2 or 3 minutes remaining, go into a final soft tyre hot lap to beat their previous best time if they need to. Tarachi coming out first here, and Somtha's going to quickly follow him down these hairpins.
It's actually interesting because usually I don't know how the others do that, but for me it's always I go strategy. Like I rather do have a better strategy for the race than position. So if I'm like I don't know 12th or 11th on outside of the top 10, I'm fine with that. I can choose my tires, but in Monaco it's you can't really do that because if you're 10th or 11th, even with free tire choice, you might still get stuck behind some drivers. You can't really overtake, like we said earlier. It's not really a track where you can say, "Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry, I will just get all these cars, get past all these cars so easily."
Yeah, qualifying is king in Monaco, or at least it should be king, assuming nothing crazy happens in the race. It's so important to get yourself as high up that field as you can. And also, we're starting to see drivers like Blaze, who we're on board with at the moment, just slow down at the end of the track just to make sure that they can get the fastest possible run into turn 1. They have to go round drivers like Glenn, who's just come out of the pits, and drivers have to yield to others who are on their flying laps if possible.
Yeah, and we've seen so far only Law and Monty on soft. Everyone else is trying a medium run.
Yeah, Blaze, who we're on board with on the mediums, coming through tunnel now. So doing a bit of an on-board lap with him while we haven't got too many times out. So this is tunnel. We've got it on night race at the moment, so we don't have the blinding sun as you exit it. Very tough chicane there. A quick left into right to the Nouvelle chicane. Left at to back, this is turn 12, and then a very fast swimming pool section. Yellow flag ahead, so Blaze is going to have to watch what he's doing. Turn around the swimming pool, and coming into Rascat here with a bit of contact on the right-hand side. 1:05 on the clock, and he's going to abandon that lap, go into the pits. Somtha's just behind him, and he's going to do the same. Both Mercs in the box.
Meanwhile, we have Toyashan at 110 and 5 with Shut Up and Charmander Nerd 1 second off. Charmander even more off the pace than expected, to be honest. With a 111.9. Maybe he had traffic.
Yeah, it's possible. Charmander's obviously very fast at Monaco. He hasn't try-hard sweated the game as much as he has in previous seasons, but he's a very fast driver when he wants to be, and he also brings a lot of consistency, so even though he's not quite reaching the heights of Gaben, Tarachi or Sunny in these couple of sessions, you can't really write him off.
Yeah. No, Gaben is the next up. We'll see what time he will put in. I think he's faster than Tarachi. Tarachi lost a little bit of in Sector 3. Oh, never mind. close to the time though.
1:10.6 and a little doot on Sandavot as he gets around that turn 1. But it's not important. He's already got his fast classified time. Anything in the 110s is very formidable. With a lot of circuits like Canada, which are short and fairly routine, you don't see too much deviation in the times. A lot of the field is within 1 second, within 2 seconds. It's different on Monaco just because it's a very technically difficult circuit. The faster drivers like Tarachi and the slower drivers like, at the moment, Law, sorry to pick on you, they're often going to be 5 or 6 seconds apart when you look at classification. So it's much more easy for the drivers at the top to be secure that their times are good enough for top 10.
Yeah, therefore probably we will see Tarachi, Salty Gaben, and Sunny not come out again. I think Charmander wants to improve his time a little bit. Not sure if he says he's fine with the time he has right now.
Yeah, he's doing the chicane at the moment. That's actually textbook chicane from Charmander. Really like his turning point there, going left into right. To back also looking good. He's taking it in 5th. Most drivers do at this point. Swimming pool's difficult to take, and dropping to 4th there without excess skid is very challenging. He's going to go round Raskas here, and some drivers drop to 1st. He's going to go into the pits, which really ends his prospects at a good lap time.
Right, now we have only remaining... Math is not good, but I think it's 5 drivers without a lap so far.
Yeah, Maka's going to change that now. He's come through, and 1:10.9. He's between Sunny and Charmander now. That's a good position to be in.
Yeah, that's not a bad time.
Oh, Bongula's asked me for a Miffy on board, so he's on the out lap at the moment. I'm actually going to come back to... I would say I'm going to come back to you, but I don't know if Bongula, you've got inside information that he's about to crash. So, let's have a quick check. He's near the end of his out lap anyway. Monaco's a very short circuit, so let's have a quick look for a lap. The clock should be correct now, so we've got 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in this session.
Oh, he just want to see him drive. Fair enough.
Let's do it. So Miffy, I think he'd be about middle of the pack, which is pretty respectable given the pack. He's got quite a few good circuits. He was really strong when it came to France. He can set really solid qualifying times.
Yeah, it's season 5 now. VL has been so stacked, like so many talented drivers. Even being like, just being in the top 10 is already a big achievement nowadays because they're all so quick now.
Yeah, when you take Calm, who is the fastest driver in VL, he's won the most races, he's a double champion. When you say that Calm, if he were to come back to Monaco, I wouldn't even be sure he could get on the podium. That just shows you how strong the field is. And that's no disrespect to Calm, who is really formidable. Like, he blows away anyone on his day when he's practiced.
Yeah, that's true, but there's no race where we are like, oh, now Calm is back, he's gonna win it, because we have other good drivers now that can maybe challenge him, like Teriyaki, Gaben.
Yeah.
Sonny also has improved quite a lot.
And then you've got drivers like Impress who just never have a chance of winning. Oh, hey, hey Impress in chat, didn't spot you there. Miffy coming in with 1:11.2. That's elevated him to P6 on the soft tyres. So he's in a field of medium tyres. He has the disadvantage there, but he is in P6. All you need to do is get into those top 10 positions.
Charmander is probably sweating now because he's in 8th. I don't know if he wants to go out and try another lap for the mediums, or if he says he's fine with the time, or is like confident enough that he will make it into the top 10.
Yeah, it's the big Q2 gamble because the tyres that you set your best lap on in Q2 are the ones at the start of the race, if we haven't already said that. Monty had a bit of an incident in the swimming pool section of the track, so he's going to come back into the pits. We've got a couple of yellow flags out on track. Our racing director Blaze hasn't set a time yet. He's on a valid lap. He's going around Mirabeau hairpin, and he's getting ready for the tunnel, so let's follow him for a bit.
Yeah, I have to confess, I have no idea how the corner names are called. So if I want to say something, I'm just gonna say, yeah, that part in Sector 2.
It's okay. Here's the movie magic. I didn't 5 minutes ago, but I've been pulling them up on my phone, and now we're good.
Okay, fair enough.
I just got a track map on my phone, and I know 5 corners, and we're good now.
That's a shot actually with Monaco.
Yeah. Okay, by the way, guys, this is how VLF1 casts are done. Just thought you ought to know. Yeah, we don't need comms, technical and encyclopedic knowledge of every track. We have Google at our disposal. 1:13 was on the cards for Brandon, but he invalidated that one. So still, with 5 minutes to go, not setting a time. Actually, yeah, Bongula coming in, saying I could no corner names, just make them up. Oh, Blaze really struggling with the from side to side. I don't know if he's got damage, so let's take a quick peek at the wing. The end plates are there, but you can never rule out floor damage with the new simulation setup. He has got time to go back in and come out on the softs. He's going to have to do that now that he's invalidated. Bad times for Brandon. I believe that's Trav just making himself a move up the scoreboard. He's now set at 110.6, moving himself very close to Gaben in P2. He's in P3 ahead of Sunny. Again on the medium tyres. He's going to be really happy with that. At this point, Pyro, where would you put the gap? Do any of these top 5 drivers need to move to softs?
The top 5? No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's gonna be interesting with the drivers like Charmander, what times they're putting in. And Shadowhopper also, I think, can maybe better his time. But I don't think the top 5. I think the top 5 are safe.
Yeah, the absolute Sigma Chad call that Charmander could make now would be to keep going on those mediums. He's only got one set of mediums available at his disposal, but I think he knows he can set better times than that. I've seen it. He's got purple on the board. He just needs to not invalidate. He's done really well there. That was a nice, almost corner cut. Nice, clever use of game mechanics, we say in the community. Dodges the curb very well. Dodges the wall very well. It's looking pretty good as a time. And he moves up to P6.
There we go.
Great lap, not peak potential, but it's a big improvement for Charmander.
Yes, now he can have a more safe time up there, and probably that's enough, I'd say, for Q2. We will see what Glenn, Monty, Law, and Brennan still can do.
Yeah, we're now reaching danger moment in Q2, so this is with a 1 minute 10 lap. Generally, if you leave the pits after 1 minute 40 remaining on the clock, then you don't have time to set a lap. It's a bigger risk on Monaco as well because of the crowding that you can have on the circuit. It's very difficult to get enough space for a proper lap. So with everyone trying to come onto the circuit at the same time, you've really got to pick your moments well and cover yourself by leaving as much time as possible. So these drivers at the bottom, Glenn, Monty, Law, Blaze, if nothing changes, they're not going to be in Q3. They need to improve their times, and the best way to do that is to come out and set a lap on the soft tyres. Monty is staying out at the moment. This will almost certainly be his final stint.
Yes, let's see what time he will put in. Glenn is notably the only outside the top 10 with still mediums on. So he still wants to try to get to Q3, but on the mediums.
Yeah, obviously a huge gamble to do that because you're not getting your fastest potential time on the slower tyre compound. He's really got yellow flags ahead as well, so he's going to have to manage this train.
Oh.
It's important that he goes quickly. He's got to improve by pretty much a full second to get into that top 10. So with medium tyres, it takes grande cojones to make that call. It's yeah, it's going to be fun to see if it pays off, Cotton.
We'll see. Sector 2 time will soon... No, wait. Oh, I misjudged. Sector 2 ends a little bit later. I thought Sector 2 ends after the tunnel.
Yeah, it does seem like there's not much of the lap after that, but I guess that's just Monaco. There's just not much lap in general. Only 0.2 of an improvement from Glenn so far, so unless he really nosed up Sector 3 last time, he's going to have to get a big improvement. He doesn't have time to go into the pits. Ooh. Everything he does, he will be doing on the medium tyres. 111, 112. It's a 0.2 second improvement, but that's almost certainly not going to be enough for Glenn. He needs to keep going. He can't change tyres. He needs that improvement. Blaze is out on the track as well. Law is out. They're on hot laps. Monty as well. Law and Blaze are on fresh softs, so they're giving themselves the best chance. Blaze invalidates. Law with a minute left.
Oh, now that we're in the closing stages of the qualifying of Q2, will be interesting who still can jump to the top 10. Shadowhopper hopes, of course, that he can improve his time while I say that, he improves to 4th position.
Yeah, great lap by Shadowhopper. Moves Somther to the edge of the drop zone. He's on his out lap at the moment and will be able to start a timed lap. Miffy on a hot lap as well. So it's really getting close in the bottom half of this leaderboard. Blaze on his hot lap. This will be his first classified time if he completes it. Law invalidates his, so he needs to get to the finish line in 20 seconds. It's not looking good.
Glenn also invalidated, so it's over for him as well.
And Monty's in the pits after invalidating, so Monty's gone. It doesn't look like Glenn will be able to do anything either unless he gets to the line in 6 seconds.
Yeah,
this could come to the wire
maybe.
With 3 seconds left. He's going to cross the line. And it's got a checkered flag by the side of his profile.
No, really? Oh.
So the session
looked like he made it.
It totally did, Pyro. It looked like he had about 3 seconds to go. Cody says Lamau no.
So the only driver now at risk is Santa, and what is Brennan gonna do?
Yeah, both Mercs still in the equation here. Something in the tunnel. Blaze coming around the final couple of corners with no previous time. We don't get to see a delta. He just has to hit the accelerator now and hope 111 something is his target. He gets 112.1 and he stays in that drop zone. That won't be enough for Blaze. Somther is through.
What a Q2. That's interesting enough though. Monty and Law on a 114. I don't know if that was traffic or what happened there, but they seem a little bit off pace than usual.
Yeah, there's a few drivers, like Charmander, as you'd say, that you'd assume they'd go faster. Crispy and Somther as well, they're normally really fast drivers on their day, but the fact that they're at the lower end of the top 10, it's not a slight on them, it's just a strength, a reflection of how strong the field is. Glenn and Blaze, they're the captains of their project teams. They've been in the game for ages. They're really fast drivers when they need to be. But right now, they're not in the top 10. They weren't fast enough when it mattered. And as a result, we have our final 10 going through to Q3. Pyro, do you want to just quickly read out who's made it through to that showdown?
Yes, P1 Toriachi on the mediums, Miffy on P2 with the softs though. Gaben 3rd, Travesty 4th, Shadowhopper, Sunny, Maka, Charmander, Crispy, and Something are through. Now, Miffy and Shadowhopper, the only ones on softs.
Yeah, that's going to be a big gamble. So Miffy and Shadow are at a bit of a pace advantage when they start the race, but their tyres are not going to last long at all. Yeah, as you said, Pyro, both Red Bulls through, both Williams through. We've got spatterings from other teams as well. Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Alfa Tauri, Aston Martin, and I'm sure there are 2 or more that I didn't read out, but there you go, there's your list. And we now go into the showdown. So the tyre strategy is out the window. We go to our final 12-minute Q3 session. It's the showdown because
all or nothing.
It's all or nothing, as you say, Pyro. Fastest time is pole, second fastest starts P2, and so on, P1 down to P10, if we take out super license penalties. It's all about leaving everything on the track and setting the fastest possible time. Nothing in the race or in practice in Q1 or in Q2 will match this. This is where you'll see the fastest laps of the circuit being set.
Yeah, and also it's gonna be interesting because if Shadowhopper or Miffy are close to the top spots and they're starting on softs, they might actually jump some cars at the start, because softs obviously at the start are quite faster, and maybe if it pays out for them, they can maybe get an advantage even starting on softs. Who knows?
It's very difficult to do in Monaco, but yeah, if you've got no cars in front of you, that's the dream. You want an empty circuit in front of you. You don't need to overtake if there are no cars there, and if you can get enough of a lead that the extra pit stop doesn't matter, then you have officially smurfed the race.
Yeah.
Okay, let's load that detail up. Soft tyres for everyone. We're only interested in the fastest compound right now. Some drivers have got 2 fresh tyre sets, some have 3, but they have 12 minutes to show what they are made of.
Yes, let's see. Who's all leaving the pits? Probably everyone's putting in 1 lap at least now. And I'm waiting for the track evolution to put in another faster lap. I really don't like that Codemaster's always resetting the spectator menu.
Every session. Let's take it away so we get to see as much action as possible. So we've got pretty much everyone. It's not everyone. It's only 6 drivers leaving immediately. We've got Gaben right up the nose of Travis. Won't matter on this outlap, but I think Gaben will want to drop back at the end to give himself a few seconds of clear space. Gaben, Travis, Tarachi. We're starting to get a real Crispy as well. We're starting to get a real BBU presence in the VL League. I kind of love it because it means the drivers are then sort of competing for leadership of both leagues. I think Travis has it at the moment. He leads the standings in VL and BBU. So yeah, it's nice to see the field getting stronger anyway.
Yeah, I like also the competitiveness, especially then they're gonna push each other in every race now on Tuesday and on Sundays.
Yeah, Trav actually pointed out that Tarachi and Charmander Nerd are Alpine teammates in BBU. So they're teammates in BBU, they're actually racing for opposing teams here. So I don't know if there's anything about strategy that they know about each other. Like if one driver normally goes for just hard pace and the other goes for safety car calls. There's a nice bit of cross-team psychology there. We'll stay on track with Gaben for this one.
Alright, Gaben it is. Let's see what times he's putting in.
Yeah, Sweden the lead. Can he do it?
Also, Maka is always a little bit unnoticed, but I feel like he's also a kind of decent driver. I mean, he's obviously not top 3 contender because it's already used up by Teriyaki, Travis, Gaben probably, maybe even Sunny. But he's still up there, oftentimes unnoticed.
Yeah, and in fact, we don't talk about him as a contender. Gaben spinning, this is awkward. We've got Teriyaki going right past him. We've got, I think, Charmander having to get out of the way, and Gaben does the right thing. He moves at the right time, gets out of the way of the drivers coming down the track. Something's going to come up as well. And we've got Maka moving around. This is a real cluster something of a chicane. And both Project Ferrari drivers ended up being in a position they didn't want to be. And they're going to be back. No major injuries. We love it.
Actually, I don't know. I want to know if the times were that fast last year's, because Travis put in a 199.
Okay, Travis. Right, if playtime's over, he's just broken 110 with the first time lap of Q3.
Well, Tarashi said in a statement, and Travis was like, just wait, mate, until Q3. I will show you real pace.
Yeah, Maka with a yikes time there, but you can imagine that based on what happened at the chicane. Shadow with a 111.1. Yeah, Tarachi, as you say, really setting down the marker.
Let's see, Sunny's also one to watch out. I'm interested in his time. I mean, obviously in France he had a really competitive time. Let's see if he also practiced for Monaco.
Yeah, as Crispy says, he likes to shout his time trial times at people a lot, but it's
yeah.
It also reflects the amount of time trial work that he does. Let's quickly get on board with Sunny as he goes around Raskas. He's got 2 corners to go, and 104 on the clock. Really nice line coming around that final corner. Accelerates to the line. Won't match Travis, but who does? He gets into P3, 110.1. Very close to P2, Tarachi as well.
Yes, and the top 3 are already looking close to each other. 2/10 from Travis, not even a 10th of Tarachi is Sunny. Then P4 Charmander with a 111.0. I feel like he has more potential in it. I don't know if he's just not risking everything. Well, we will see. Maybe he improves. Marka with a 110.5.
Yeah, he's...
Like I said, that guy is always going unnoticed until he's suddenly up there.
And he has actually won a race as well. I think it was the Spanish race we did. It was a while ago because of the league suspension. But he's won a race in VL, which is a club that I believe only like 13 drivers have been part of. So yeah, he's really going under the radar, and it might work out for him if he can keep improving on that time. I don't want to write him off, but he's going to have to improve some way further if he's going to compete with Trav and Tarachi. And to an extent Sunny as well. They've just got amazing times. Like, they're blowing the field away. Considering Charmander's won Monaco in VL, and he's about a second 1.2 off the pace right now.
Yeah, we'll see Gaben now on an odd lap, soon starting his fast lap. We'll see what his time is gonna be. It's gonna be interesting what time he's gonna put in. Just as Travis puts in a 1.9. He's also on an outlap, Travis. I actually thought he would wait a little bit more for track evolution.
Trav is totally going for the 3 stint Q3. So what you can do on the shorter tracks is use 3 fresh sets of soft tyres, and that only works if you use 1 set in Q1 instead of 2.
Oh, okay.
That means you can do 1 hot lap preceded by 1 out lap 3 times in Q3, and it works on the short tracks. Bongula asks, is your out lap just to warm up tyres? Most drivers will use it to warm up tyres and just sort of coast around the circuit with not pushing the car to its limits. It's also because you can't set a lap immediately after leaving the pits because you don't start from the start line. So you need that running start at the start-finish line to start a timed lap, or a flying lap as we call it.
Yes, perfectly explained.
Okay, Crispy, I haven't seen too much of him this session, so let's hope the commentator's curse doesn't strike him.
Yeah. But meantime, Samta Shirahapa also put in times 1:11.1 for Shirahapa, 1:11.5 for Samta. Samta usually fast, probably Monaco not his track. But who is it really?
Yeah, certainly not ours. We're here on the casting desk. Yeah, I can understand with Monaco though. It's sometimes you just spend a whole weekend, especially when it was old VL format when we did practice on Friday, qualifying on Saturday, and then a race on Sunday, so you could spend your whole weekend practicing and then get nowhere. Monaco, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was a great line from Crispy.
As I was about to say really quick, Monaco is really unforgiving. Like, even if you make a small mistake, oversteer, understeer can happen quickly, and you're already in the wall, and then there's all your practice gone.
Absolutely. Miffy coming.
Sucks.
Oh my god. I was going to say Miffy has improved his time to 1:10.6, but Travis beating his previous time, 1:09.8. He stands alone at the top, 0.3 lead. Crispy's coming in with nearly a 1:11 dead. Pretty respectable time. Overtakes Charmander, Shadow and Somtha in P6 at the moment. Gaben is yet to set a lap, and with 4 minutes to go, he's pretty much got one shot at it.
Yeah, and Travis out here saying, I see no god up here other than me. And putting on 19.08. Holy shit. Let's see if Tarashi can beat this time. Yeah, actually what happened to Gaben? He was on an out lap and then on a fast lap. And then went into the pits again. Maybe damage?
Yeah, he's...
Oh,
okay.
no!
Okay, Tarachi, we didn't see that one coming. Travis been put in his place. What is a god to a non-believer? Tarachi and Trav really like turning things around. Sonny's immediately got his engineers to bring him out. In fact, no, that's a Red Bull bringing Travis in. Sonny's got to be seeing this and he's got to be chomping at the bit waiting to get out, because I think Sonny can have a real go at these times with track evolution. That's not to understate the massive improvement Tarachi's just thrown down on the track.
Yeah, and I love that. I love this. 1/10 faster than Travis's time so far. There is still track evolution and pace going on. So I'm really interested now in Gabe and what his time is gonna be. But he doesn't seem to get a time in either invalidating or I don't know what's happening to him. But I want to see what time he's gonna put in.
Yeah, Gaben's still yet to set one on his outlap, so about to start his timed line. Yeah, impressing. Who's this guy? Japanese car. Yeah. Meanwhile, Somtha, we didn't see it, but he did it in the understated background. He set a 1:10.4, which is ahead of Maka. It's put him in P4 for now. So a really respectable time. For now, going to stay with Gaben as he looks to set his first timed lap of the session. It might be his last as well, given the time is now down to 2 minutes. Realistically, he's got 2 laps in his stint.
We'll see.
Yeah, a lot of drivers coming out now. This is the moment to leave the pits for the final time. If you then ding your wing, you're a bit screwed. But it's your chance to get the fastest possible lap, with the lowest fuel, with the maximum track evolution, with the softest compound when it matters. That's what qualifying is all about.
Oh, we see a yellow. Okay, that's just Sonny going slow.
Yeah. Crash gate is off for now.
Oh. Or what really would be unfortunate as well is someone spinning or crashing out and ruining the lap times of others. But that can also happen. It's Monaco.
Yeah, Whopper leaves the session, but it's not a retirement. It's in the pits. Gaben with a 1:06 comes around the final corner. He's putting everything. He's putting the whole house on the accelerator pedal. 1:10.1. He's 8 thousandths off Sonny. For now, he's in the second row of the grid. P4. So this is where it gets good. Final minutes. We're going to be looking at each driver as they come around. A lot of drivers, 5 to be precise, still on outlap. Somtha, Tarachi, and Shadowhopper are done for now. They're going into the box. They're finished with what they're going to do for the session, which means that the remaining drivers have a lot more room. Trav is already improving by a 10th. At this rate, this will put him in pole position. It's looking good. So we'll follow him as he goes through Casino. These chicanes are going to have to be perfect. He keeps up his great delta at the end of Sector 1. He's 2/10 up. At the moment, this is 109.6. This is not a drill. Travis is on course to set all records. If, of course, he doesn't nose up the rest of the track. Little bit of a spin there. He controls it well. Gets into the tunnel. It's not perfect. It doesn't need to be. He just needs to not lose that advantage that he's already got. Here comes the chicane. This is critical as we have a yellow flag from Gaben.
Oh, Gaben spawn. And that did impact. Hopefully did not impact any driver.
The next driver to come around is Trav, who we're still on board with. We'll get a good look at Gaben as Trav comes around. Yellow flag's being waved. Trav still going. He sees Gaben ahead, but he doesn't want to have his way interrupted. Gaben's out the way. Trav can round the final corner. Tarachi's time is set. Will Trav beat it? 109, 110. It's not good enough. Tarachi is going to keep pole unless Sonny does something crazy. He's 3/10 ahead. Comes up to the line, and he beats Travis into P2.
P2. But he's missing out on pole by so less. How much is 100?
That is 100th. Yeah, that's it, Pyro.
Oh, so close to pole.
Yeah, Trav must be ruining himself for those mistakes on that lap. I'm looking at Crispy now because he's half a second up, hasn't invalidated. He's got a couple corners to go. Crispy and Maka, the last drivers on the lap. Maka just trying to get everything he can through swimming pool. Crispy getting a great acceleration out. This could put him into P5 or P6 if he's done it well. It's done it! P5 for Crispy. Great drive, my son. Maka might be able to strike back. He's about on par with his current time, so he's not going to improve. Maka in P7 at the end there.
What a competitive season. I love it.
What about Tarachi, though? Comes out of nowhere. Or rather BBU, and just smites everyone down.
Yeah, Tarachi on pole then. It's gonna be interesting. Tarachi, Sonny, Travis. The 3 people that are probably going into the win in the race. I mean, even though it can happen that Gaben still in there. What did Mithy put? Okay, he's in 8th because Mithy and Shadowhopper are starting both on softs. 8th and 10th, probably not the best, but who knows? Maybe they can jump some on the start.
And yeah, to be honest, that's normally how it goes. The drivers who were on softs in Q2 tend to be the slower drivers who have had to take the soft tyres to get into that top 10, and thus they generally fall to the bottom. Okay, what we're going to do now is normally we would be going straight into the race session, but we have some potentially super license penalties to apply. So I'll be cutting you to the studio, and we're going to be taking a quick break for a few minutes while we get the lobby sorted. Thanks for waiting, and we'll be back with VLF1's Monaco race in about 6 to 8 minutes.
Oh yeah, but the penalties.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to VL F1's coverage of the Monaco Grand Prix this Sunday night. Hope you all were patient. Thank you for those who are still with us. We've just gone through qualifying. It was really close at the top. It was only 100th separating Travis and I think it was Sonny and Tarachi at the top, Pyro. Were they the two?
Yeah, Tarachi, Sunny, were all really close together, and Sunny almost beat even Travis's time if I had it right in my mind.
Yeah, I think he came through on that final lap. We saw Trav and he just had a bit of an awkward tunnel section. Yeah, it's these small mistakes that can cost you, but P3 is not too bad at all. We've got 3 super license penalties added. So we had Miffy, Maka and Law having their grid positions move slightly down from where they were in qualifying. So that's just an ongoing penalty when we have severe infractions like big collisions or like drive-throughs. We have a super license system in VL, so if you rack up enough penalties, then you get handed extra grid penalties for future races. So it's just sort of a helping hand that Blaze will use. It's more a stick than a carrot of making sure that you don't mess up the rest of the grid when you drive.
Yeah, and my poor my reserve driver Scott, still disqualified. But if he's lucky enough and Carlos can't do next week, he might get his first race.
Yeah, pour one out for Scott. He's had to sit in the reserve bin for the best part of the season.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe next week I'll just sit out again, just for him to drive one.
Oh, I'm sure I had the track written down somewhere because we shook up the calendar a few times. I don't know if it's
I think it was Zandvoort.
Oh, I think you're right. It is Zandvoort. That's a really good track.
Yeah, but I don't have to do it again. I just did it in BBU.
Nice.
Really a track I have to do again.
I don't know if that's a good thing if you're doing the same track twice in a week, or if that's a bad thing because you get bored of it. Definitely is with Monaco. It really depends on the track.
Oh, imagine doing Monaco twice a week.
Oh man. Okay, so we're looking at a waiting for players loading screen. I hope this isn't a bug. What I think's happening at the moment is that all the drivers are finalising their setup, their fuel load, and confirming the tyres that they'll be starting the race with. Blazer's got a line to all of the captains and all of the drivers, and when everyone's ready, we start up so that no one's caught unawares by the formation lap. Because it's Monaco, turn 1, lap 1 is going to be an absolute chaotic cluster, especially when you consider the difference in tyres, because you've got drivers on the soft tyres like I think it was Miffy and was it Maka?
Shadowhopper.
You're right, Pyro. It was Miffy and Shadowhopper in the top 10 qualifying who've had to take the soft tyres in a crowd of mediums. So it's on them to get as many advantages as they can in the first few turns. And then you've got the drivers who just want to keep things steady, keep on the harder tyres, and make sure that they can back the rest of the pack up. So those two strategies collide on turn 1.
Oh yeah, and now that there's floor damage, it's gonna be interesting who's taking a lasting disadvantage through the race with breaking a floor or two. Who knows? Not because you can replace a front wing, you can't replace a rear wing or floor damage now. So who knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm just glad we can get back to good racing. Fingers crossed, touch wood. Because we'd have had about 4 restarts by now if this was during suspension times. We'd have had desyncs, we'd have had all sorts of disconnections. I of course disconnected during Q1 but was able to get back fairly quickly and we didn't see anything untoward since.
Oh yeah, let's hope it's all going cleanly.
Yeah, and let's hope we can get all of the lap 1 Monaco crashes in glorious. Okay, so the real one for me is, can Tarachi win? Do we think he can win this race after getting pole position?
Well, if he makes a good start, I feel like yes. And obviously, if he doesn't int it later in the race, I have a good feeling he can. I mean, he still has Travis behind him and Sunny that are as well fairly paced. But I feel like if he starts good, it's a 90% win for him.
Yeah, Calm did it last week. He tried to divide drivers into Mr. Saturday and Mr. Sunday. I don't know with Tarachi yet, but from what Travis has briefed me, he's fairly consistent, so he's got a good chance of backing up his quali performance into the race. Okay, let's do a quick couple of UI adjustments. Make sure we've got the full track map on. Get the leader interval, and we've got the broadcast camera. So we can see that Shadow and Miffy, as you pointed out earlier, Pyro, do start on the softs. Every other driver has started on the mediums, which means that they're probably going for the one-stop medium hard. Jeff Bezos and his AWS team generally tried to confirm that for us towards the end of the formation lap. Got to shout out our sponsorship on the virtual game. Tarachi, of course, leading everyone out. The formation lap is just completely snake-like. It's just following all the drivers down.
Oh.
Everyone just wiggling around, warming up their tyres, and trying not to hit the person in front.
I don't know if it was for me or my spectator bot, but Tarachi just went straight into the wall.
You'd love to see it. He's for me, he's positioned 2 steps
behind Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
so that's
it
not a
wasn't
desync. He did actually have an issue. I'm looking at his wing and it looks fine.
Yeah, I think on the formation lap you don't get damage. You just get disqualified if you're unlucky.
And yeah, he wasn't DQ'd, so let's cross our fingers, hope it wasn't desync, and see if he gets back for the start of the real race. Of course, with it being formation lap, it's not a disadvantage to track position. He gets to keep warming up his tyres. By the way, on stream, I can see Twitch chat. Let me know if there are any issues with the sound, or with the picture, or if there's any questions you have for me or Pyro.
Fun fact, by the way, on the formation lap, you can actually just race and overtake drivers. The game won't punish you.
Genius.
Because that's what I once did. I was like, I don't care about formation lap anymore, and I just overtook everyone. And the game was like, yeah, it's fine.
I think I've seen that during some safety cars as well, where the game bugged out, and normally you're not meant to overtake. But a couple of times when a desync driver was ahead, you could just overtake not only that driver, but just keep overtaking everyone under the safety car. It caused a bit of chaos.
You love that game.
Okay, Pyro, I normally try and ask my co-caster this. Which driver do you want to focus on for the start of the race? Someone near the front, but someone who could get spicy.
I'd say Santa. I feel like he has a dive potential today.
Okay, let's do it. So here we go. We've got the cameras out. The lights are on for the start of the Monaco Grand Prix. 39 laps of fury. The lights are out, and away we go. Tarachi leads after a great qualifying session. We've got everyone stacked together. There's a big gap between the start and the middle of the field. Everyone keeping to the lines fairly well at the moment. We've got a pretty clean getaway from our leading drivers, although that was close between Sunny and Trav halfway up the first couple of corners. Getting around Casino now. It's where the drivers start to break away from too wide. We just get Somther coming around there, getting close to Crispy. Tarachi making an early break as we get to the side, and Sunny immediately smashes into the top of the Mirabeau chain. He's going to lose so many positions, and he's going to have to box almost immediately, knowing he's holding up the field massively behind him, causing a yellow flag. This is basically a big dub for the 4 drivers that are ahead of Sunny at the moment. They get to advance so far on the track. Let's have a quick look at Charmander, who has Sunny ahead. We'll see if he can overtake.
A really clean corner 1, actually. Didn't expect that one. And really unfortunate for Sunny now, because he has to pit with no front wing. We'll see if he goes for the hards and then just tries to make a strategy work. Obviously, he's hoping for a safety car now.
Yeah, another couple drivers able to get past Sunny. It always looks risky when you see an overtake in Monaco. And that's because it is. It's a really small, narrow track. Sunny, of course, is going to have to box at this stage. Goes into the pits. It's the first box. Won't be the last of this race. It's going to be pretty chaotic. 1 box at best is the strategy. Medium, hards. Tarachi already taking it away. Got a 1 second lead on Travis. Consistency is the name of the game if you're at the front here.
Yeah, and actually quite a lot of cars are pitting. So I don't know if the hold-up actually caused multiple people to gain front wing damage. But we see Sunny, Glenn, Law, Monty, Ronaldinho, and Brennan Ablaze all pitting.
Yeah, it's super difficult to pick all these sort of things up. But in lap 1 Monaco, you've got sharp breaks ahead of you. Sunny, of course, backed up the pack by crashing into the wall, so there was a big chain of breaks at the top of the Mirabeau section of turns. So yeah, it's very easy to just slam into the car in front and have a wing ding. As the predicted pit stop strategy comes up on screen, we see that the ideal strategy is 1 stop medium hard. 2 stop with 2 sets of mediums is also possible.
And actually, interesting to see that Glenn was the only... Glenn and Blaze are the only one putting on hards. The other actually opted for either softs or another set of mediums.
Yeah, I think the idea of the hards there, they think they can last till the end of the race, so all remaining 36 laps. They think they'll be able to get out in front and then hold it. Because if you don't think that, then why would you put on the hard straight away? Surely you'd try soft hard at this point. But it's a call that they're making, or we'll find out from them later if it works.
Yeah, it's surely interesting to see where they will end up. And I mean, we're now already 3 laps in. I mean, it's a short track, okay. But we see Travesty still holding that 1 second game same to Gaben. They're all close to each other, and with DRS opening up soon, it's gonna be interesting to see if they can pull out something and even maybe an overtake if they're close enough.
Oh, Hodgson, eat your heart out. It's the Mercedes double box on laps 1 and 2. Blaze goes into the pits again. It looks like he's reverting to that medium. He was on mediums at the start, so I don't know if he could have changed onto another set, but yeah, he's coming back out the pits. Big disadvantage. He's hoping for a safety car right now.
Yeah. And I think he's already getting lapped, so even a safety car won't save him anymore.
Okay, Blaze comes out into the traffic, and of course has to let all of these drivers by. The blue flags are going to be pretty consistent at this point.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about this game, is even a safety car now won't help Blaze because he's lapped and they won't unlap you. Won't let you unlap.
A bit of inside info from Trav, who's really good at knowing the technical details of each track. He thinks that the mediums will last between 25 and 29 laps as Charmander and Maka get past Blaze's Mercedes. Yeah, so switching to the hards now, it might be a bit of an int for Glenn because it will probably leave him a good, let's say, 7 or 8 laps short. Charmander with a few wiggles in the tunnel, fights wildly to control his car, just about does so, and doesn't give Maka any option to overtake because of just the crazy nature of that move.
Okay, Ben got a 3 second penalty already now.
That's actually impressive on Monaco.
Yeah, and also that's gonna cost him a lot, even if he only remains with this 3 second and doesn't get another penalty. 3 second is still quite a lot. Oh.
Yeah, we see Miffy making a bit of a dive on Somtha, but it's not going to land, and he might have a bit of wing damage. Let's get a quick bit of inside info. Looks intact, but only the driver will know. Maybe a little bit of micro damage. Maka's still chasing down Charmander, both on medium tyres. Maka does seem to have the pace advantage, but you've got to give credit to Charmander for defending as well as he has, even when losing it in the tunnel like he did on lap 4.
Yeah, and Charmander is actually quite impressive that he kept it out of the wall when he wiggled like that. It looked crazy. Sorry about my dog.
Oh, it's okay. So the dog's cheering us on. Is Whiskey a McLaren fan?
Yes, of course. I mean, a true hard Ferrari fan in real life, you know, but...
There we go. A bit anything red or orange.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And how far at it, everyone is a little bit of a Ferrari fan.
Yeah, don't deny it.
Even in VL, I'm a little bit of a Ferrari fan. Ferrari's still Ferrari.
Yeah, same. My heart's very close to Mercedes and Ferrari, having driven for both those projects very recently. But yeah, I do want to see the boys do well. I just want to see some good, clean racing, but without too much drama or tilt. But this is VLF1, so that never happens. Maka going up towards Charmander again. Charmander pulling out a nice defense. Maka's got time to make the move, but it's difficult to make a move. Still lots of time in this race yet.
Okay, you have to excuse me for 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Enjoy, I'll take over for now. So we've got Travesty going over towards Tarachi. Tarachi's still leading this race, he's done so since the start. And both of them do seem to have things under wraps at the moment. Tarachi had a little jump there, and that's worrying because he had a quick blink back on the formation lap. I hope he gets his connection under control. It's very worrying for Trav who's driving behind him because the biggest risk is that Tarachi jumps back into Trav's front wing and then they both take each other out. So yeah, little sword of Damocles situation. Yellow flag in the chicane. Let's have a quick look at that one. That's going to be a Merc, and Somther is going to be the wrong way round on the track. His teammate Blaze is going to be just behind him, but a lap down. Somther, if we have a quick look at his wing, he's got... There it is. We almost saw it in full glorious HD there. The wing comes off, and he's going to have to go into the pits. Merc really having a shocker of a time right now. And he's also going to hold up his teammate Blazer as a lap down. Mercedes have really got to be sponsoring the safety car right now, as Somther has another little doot on the way into the pits. Maka chasing down Charmander Nerd relentlessly. Charmander just steadfastly not giving him any opportunity to make a move. Props to them both. Sunny making a move on Sumther, who is of course in the pit lane. Runas doing the same, so after 5 laps, our newer McLaren driver is switching onto the hard tyres. With 32 laps left in the race, this is starting to become a possible strategy. So for me, Sumther and Runas, who are just putting on the hard tyres, this is maybe the point at which their ideal tyre strategy can come into play. The problem is then that they're not at the front of the pack, even if the guys at the front of the pack pit. So they won't be leading the race, they've just got to try and hold their positions. Let's get a quick look at Trav again, who's within half a second of Tarachi. Both of these are really consistent drivers now. I don't have too much downloaded info on Tarachi, but if Trav likes him and he's in BBU, he can't be that bad of a driver. He's been praised on his consistency. I think the only thing letting him down right now is his lag spikes and his network ping. Maka making moves on Charmander Nerd, so Red Bull giveth, Red Bull taketh. Ronaldinho into the pits. He's switched onto the hard tyres now, further down the grid. Okay, we've got a train forming. Maka still chasing down Charmander, but Charmander's found his pace, and he's on the tail of Crispy in Project Merc for the Williams team. Maka does have more energy here, so Maka is forcing Charmander to use all the battery he has. For Monaco, as long as you're ahead by the chicane, you can normally defend very well. Maka may wait up a move here. It's very difficult to do, but it's one of the few opportunities you get around this Monaco circuit. All 3 drivers keeping their cars under control. Crispy pretty close to the wall up ahead. And here comes the DRS. Of course, after lap 3, all drivers will get their DRS, which means that if they're within 1 second of the car in front, they can make their rear wing more aerodynamic and increase their speed for a limited section of the track. It's a really nice way of drivers catching up the driver in front, so it puts a lot more pressure on those drivers in front. Charmander and Maka now going too wide, and they're going to be going towards Mirabeau. Maka taking that early entrance, and Charmander has pretty much nowhere to move. Maka has made the move there. On the balance of things, he was going to get ahead one way or another. And I think they did things pretty fairly. Maka had to move right there because of the curve of the track. Charmander recognised that he didn't have much room to play with, so all looking good there. Charmander's still fast though, so he ain't out of that yet. Top of the field are all on their first set of tyres. Maka with a weave there. Charmander's going to go to the side. It's going to be very close. Charmander mainly pushing Maka into the side there, in my opinion. And Maka's going to have a few problems there. I don't think there was room for the 2 of them, but we'll save that for the stewards afterwards. It's going to be another collision between them. And yeah, Maka the worse off after that one. So Charmander, he's kept his nose in front. He's kept himself in that position. And Somther is coming out of the pits. He's a lap down, so will have to cede his position over to Charmander, who's going to resume his attack on Crispy.
Hope I didn't miss too much. I'm very, very sorry.
Yeah, no worries. All okay with you?
Yes. I only had to go downstairs real quick because my dog is acting weird.
I think that's the job of a dog, to act weird and phase their owners out. Yeah, the only thing missed was a battle between Charmander and Maka. Charmander was initially ahead. Maka's been chasing him down for a few laps. Maka got ahead in Sector 1, but then they both collided on their way through Sector 2. And Maka had to box as a result. Charmander keeps B5.
Oh, okay. Unlucky for Maka. Yeah. Currently having the usual... Codemasters doesn't want to have a clear position. Everyone's just getting first, second. I don't know.
Fantastic. You love to see it. Cody's MVP. It's working okay for me, but it's generally it tends to resolve itself within a couple of laps. Sunny on the soft tyres. Actually, Maka seems to be accelerating away from him. Yellow flag there around the chicane. That's a slow Merc up ahead. It's actually going to be Blaze who's getting around to back. He's going to get blue flagged in a moment. There they are. So he's going to have to give his position to the 2 drivers behind him. And that's just going to back Maka up into Sunny, who's on the soft tyres and wants any advantage you can get.
Ooh, Sunny already up to 8th. That's actually impressive.
Yeah,
But he still has to pit. He's on soft, so maybe all his work for nothing, depending on where he ends up after pitting.
yeah, of course, Sonny had that incident on lap 1 where he had to pit off his wing. Maka moving into the back of Blaze. Maka's lost his own wing. That's going to be devastating, especially given that he's on hard tyres. Sonny gets past him with absolutely no effort, and Maka is going to have to pit twice in 2 laps. I feel for the guy. That must be a stressful time for him. Crispy going to move past him as well. Let's go on board with Miffy, who's got a wingless Maka almost for the taking in front of him.
Very unfortunate for Maka. Oh, poor guy. You have 2 sets of hearts you can take, or is there only one?
I think it's 1, but he's going to have to move off them anyway. Blaze just going over a few more bits of debris. Don't know if that's Blaze's, Maka's, or someone else's. But Miffy's going to move up to Maka, try and make the move down the inside. It's not going to happen. And Maka on the hard tyres is going to absolutely nose things up there. Of course, he is still racing for his position, so he doesn't have to give away.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, how do you feel about that? Because Maka isn't really defending that. He's just, okay, he's maybe losing a little, or making him lose a little bit of time. But I feel it's like a little dirty to me, just trying still to belt it.
Yeah, it's really difficult for both drivers, because obviously you want to keep yourself ahead in the race and you want to hold up other drivers. You're allowed to race, so it's worth doing it at Monaco if you can keep people behind you. But also, there's an element where it's not worth it because you'll spend more time trying to defend with bad wings than you will with just getting to the pits as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So I think it's morally okay, but tactically I'm not sure if it's the best move to keep up defending while you've got no wings. Maka in the pits.
So who's already lapped? Ronaldinho, Runas, and Blaze are currently the ones lapped, as far as I can see.
Yeah, if we get a quick look at where Tarachi is, he's got Monty in his sights, so he's about to lap P11 for the first time. And now he has Maka in P10 ahead of him, so I think Trav also brought up the stat that when Monaco's been raced in the past in VL, the margin of victory between first and second has never been lower than 17 seconds. So normally when drivers win, it's by an absolute mile. It's not close. There's no final lap battle. Maka spinning on the way out of the tunnel. And you've got to guess.
That's maybe a safety car now, because it's in a tunnel.
With 3 similar incidents, I guess that's out of his control. He's normally a much better driver than that, and he's left the session as a result. His car has DNF'd, so taking no further part in the race. And that's just a sad time for, let's say it again, a race winner this season.
I mean, maybe he was a little bit frustrated and the frustration got to him. And then he got a little bit careless. And in Monaco, even just a 1% less focused driving will cause you to crash even more.
Okay, Trav has gone into the pits after 12 laps. He's going to put on the hard tyres. I say 12 laps, it is lap 14. It must have been a bit of a spectator issue. So with 25 laps to go, he's going to put on the hard tyres. He should be able to run these to the end of the race. So this looks tactical rather than necessary.
Well, he did change front wing though. So, interesting. I don't know if he had it since lap 1. Or if it was caused by maybe debris later on.
Yeah, even if with a damaged front wing, he's been keeping up with the field very well. He's about 29 seconds off Tarachi at the moment. So that's going to be the time to watch out for. Somtha retires. He's in the pits, I believe. I think there might have been an issue with him.
Oh.
To retire in the pits, Somtha looked like he was doing pretty well as well. So I'm not sure why that's happened. We'll find out later and get back to you. The good news is that retirement doesn't affect anything on track.
Yeah, my game actually doesn't want me to know any places today because it's just going up and down. I don't know.
You've got to love Cody's. Which,
Oh, okay. Something just put in via racing. Please leave Ronaldinho. So there's a little bit of bad blood going on.
Oh man.
Don't know what happened there.
Yeah, Somtha's. This will sound BM, but I'm going to say it anyway. Somtha's had his fair share of incidents with collisions with other cars, but it looks like something's happened towards the back of the field there. Oh, Monty absolutely weaved hard on the way into Mirabeau there. And yeah, we'll see as always in VL how that one pans out. We don't have a clip here on stream, so we often get player submitted clips. We'll have the fun later on when we look at the footage. Two Ferrari drivers having a nice little train down the tunnel. Gaben, the driver in front, overtaking Glenn, who is a lap down from his teammate, and they're both going to make the way around the chicane. Gaben is in P2 at the moment, and he's just got to get as much distance out of his medium tyres as possible before switching on to the hards.
So Tarachi's still on the mediums.
Tarachi spun.
Changed. Oh!
Let's get a quick view with Charmander, who should be coming up to the spun Tarachi soon enough.
That's gonna change everything.
Yeah, that's absolutely horrible for Tarachi. The good news for him is he can change his wing. He can go onto the hard tyres. It's not like he crashed one lap into his final stint and then has to change his strategy. It's just really annoying, and that's going to be great news for Trav. I'm going to go on board with him here because he's got 3 drivers ahead of him in classification. Charmander and Tarachi are in the pits. Gaben is yet to pit, so Trav, having overtaken Charmander, having overtaken Tarachi in the pits, is going to be net P1 if he can get close enough to Gaben.
Yeah, and like you said, Gaben still has to pit. So how long is the pit? 20 seconds? 21? He's close to that gap.
With Monaco as well, it's the pit exit. It's very close to the right-hand side of the track. It's very slow to get out of the pit exit as well, so it's probably a few more seconds on the end. Gaben, if he sticks to his strategy, with 23 laps remaining, it's probably just past the time to switch onto hards. He can't do 2 mediums, so he's going to have to pit pretty imminently, and so we'll see where Trav really is when things stack up. Quick cut to Shadowhopper. He's chasing down Miffy in Sector 1, now Sector 2, and there's half a second between them.
I don't know what's happening, but Shaman for a second was going slowly, and then quick again. I think for me the game is completely dead. Nothing is working.
It sucks to hear, and it's really frustrating as well when you're trying to commentate when you can't work out what the positions are.
Yeah, well, I just hope that for the drivers, everything is fine. Yeah. Not that we have to do a remake 17 laps into the race.
Yeah, we could talk about remake scenarios, but I almost don't want to jinx it. I don't want to talk about it until it's announced. So all
right.
For now, it looks current. For me, the positions are stacking up okay. Tarachi's trying to chase down Charmander Nerd. They're both into their second stint. They're on the fresh hard tyres. And Pyro, while I take a quick look at the messages on Discord, could you quickly check where Gaben is? See what his pit strategy is going to be like.
Gaben currently still P1. Well, at least on stream for you. For me, he's P3. Still not pitting. So I don't know if he's maybe trying to do a medium softs, because he has the info that the softs on Shadowhopper actually lasted 11 laps. Meaning that if he can get these mediums to last long enough, he maybe wants to do a medium softs. That could also mean that Travis then has to fight off Gaben on fresh softs while he's on hard. It's gonna be really interesting to see what Gaben is doing. If he's actually going on hards later, I think he might have fucked himself, because then Travis, even on older hards, has the advantage because he's closing down the gap so far to 20 seconds, a little less than that. So it'll be interesting to see what Gaben does. So far, everyone has pitted but Gaben. And most people opted for a medium or a hard. Only some drivers were shortly on soft that were maximum 12. I think 11 laps it was. So we will see. Oh, now Gaben is pitting. What is he pitting for?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the hards on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, and there it is. The hards for Gaben. So interesting to see where he comes out now. I don't think he's going to stay ahead of Travis, but is he staying ahead of Charmander is the question. Looks like it, even though Charmander closed down the gap quite a lot. Yes, Charmander is really close to Gaben now. And Tarachi's still stuck behind Charmander, so it's really interesting to see how this will shape out. Travesty now with a 6-second lead comfortably if he doesn't make any mistake. I think and if Charmander can keep Tarachi behind him, it's gonna favor Travesty a lot now.
Okay, Pyro, I'm going to put the stream on pause for a minute. I've just been asked to see if a restart is happening. We'll be back shortly.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, gang. Cradden here, coming back. Yeah, bad news, I'm afraid. The race has been called off mid-race. It's been called off after speaking to Blaze and Travis and myself. Obviously, I'm an independent opinion. It really sucks because we were halfway through a great race, and the reason we've called it off is because of the desync issues. Trav and Blaze and a couple of the other captains were reporting desync issues between the drivers. We did kind of see it with Tarachi, and we thought it might have been independent. A lot of drivers have reported issues where the deltas to other drivers weren't consistent. Pyro caught the tail end of that with issues with the delta in Spectator. Long story short, race balked it. So yeah, we're not gonna remake the race now. As I said to Pyro, it would be unfair to remake the race at 50% because people might have things to do. It would be unfair to have a smaller race because it wouldn't do justice to the format we have. It would be unfair to have all this have all this setup, have the qualifying, have all these specific conditions, assists, team setup, super license, and then say, oh, by the way, the race will award points for a 5-lapper. So yeah, we're going to call it off this week. I expect, and Brandon expects, that we're going to be doing something similar next weekend, but that's not official yet. The captains and the independent guys, that's me, Joycey Stillband, are going to talk where possible, and hopefully we'll get a race on for you next weekend. So while I'm on air, apologies to all who were expecting an end to that race. It was looking really good, and I liked seeing the new guys as well. Ronaldinho, Runas and Tarachi. I was really looking forward to see if Tarachi could have pulled off the win, and I really loved a lot of the performances up and down the grid. Also, cheers to Pyro, who came in at the last minute. He was cheering on his teammate Runas, and he casted alongside me, and I really enjoyed it, so hopefully I can do that in the future. Guys, have a great evening, whatever you're doing, and hopefully we will catch you next week. Anyway, here's some Pentakill.
Tell me now the fortune of